Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal and today I'm going to be doing my July TBR and my Reading Rush TBR. So the books that I picked for my July TBR are also going to apply for the Reading Rush TBR as well. I just have really big books here and I want to apply them to both, you know, the Reading Rush and also my overall TBR for the month. So let's just get into what I want to read this month and then I'm going to tell you which books are going to be applying to my Reading Rush TBR. So on my stack of books here, in no particular order, I'm going to start with Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I don't want to say I hated the Shadowhunters books, but I just did not love Clary Frey as a main character. She just was very whiny to me, and I think maybe because I read the books later on in life in my mid-20s, I just didn't really connect with her as a character, so I did not love those, but the Infernal Devices I really enjoyed. So I heard Lady Midnight is a little similar to that, and I gave myself a couple years of a break of Shadowhunters because I went through a phase where I needed to read all of the books all at the same time, and that didn't really work out for me because I was burnt out and I didn't even want to look at another Shadowhunters book after that. So I've had Lady Midnight on my TBR for quite some time. I actually did own the hardback edition of this when it first came out, and I unhauled it because I was like, I don't want to look at another Shadowhunters book ever again. So I am going to be giving Cassandra Clare another chance with this series, the Dark Artifices series. Not for nothing, this cover is gorgeous. And I've heard such great things about this series of hers, so I want to get into it. And I know she has new books coming out this year, so I need to jump on the bandwagon. I want to know what everyone's talking about, and it does involve all of my favorite themes in books. It's an urban fantasy. It has angels, it has demons, it has witches, it has all of the things that I love in fantasy books. So why don't I love this? I want to love this. I'm gonna read it. I'm picking it up. And then next I have here Recursion by Blake Crouch, and I absolutely love Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. It was probably my favorite book of, I want to say 2016 or 2015, whatever year it came out. I read it 3 times. At the end of it, I was just like, what did I just read? And I went back and I kept reading it and reading it. I just absolutely loved that book so much. So I'm hoping that Recursion by Blake Crouch gives me the same feels that I had when I read Dark Matter, and maybe it will be a favorite book of mine for 2019. And I know Recursion is about like your mind, and that's pretty much it. Like stuff like psychological shit with your mind. That sounds pretty cool, and if it's anything like Dark Matter with the fast-paced, thrilling science fiction fantasy elements to it, I'm so in. Next up I have here gothic horror, and that is The Toll by Cherie Priest. This is a Southern Gothic novel about a couple who goes on a honeymoon down south, I want to say South Carolina, somewhere, and all of a sudden they were driving and driving, lights out, husband wakes up, wife is missing. It's told as a ghost story. I'm looking forward to it, and this book comes out in July. It actually comes out in July. I believe July 9th it comes out. So I need to get to this ASAP. It's probably going to be the first book that I read, so I can get a review up for it from the publisher. They kindly sent me this advanced copy, and I cannot wait to read it. It sounds so creepy, and it's quite short, so it's like the perfect read for, you know, the summer, by the pool, by the beach. So I love horror in the summer for some reason. I just love reading horror books in the summer. I think it's nostalgic for me because on summer break when I was a kid, you know, that was the summer where you could read whatever you wanted, no more school books. So I would always just go to the library and get a bunch of Goosebumps books to read by the pool. So I think that kind of stuck with me. I just enjoy reading horror books by the pool. Next I have here All the Bad Apples by Moira Fowley Doyle. I never get her name right, but this will be my first book by her. This is an ARC. This book comes out in August, and I am very much looking forward to reading this. I was told by the publisher that this book is has very similar elements to Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman, which is one of my favorite books of all time, favorite movie of all time. So I'm really looking forward to getting to this. It does have magical realism elements to it, but also real life issues as well. This girl, the main character, she comes from a heavily Christian family, and her father is quite abusive, and that's pretty much all I know about it. I don't really want to know much more about it because I don't want to put this book off any longer. I want to pick it up and read it and let you guys know my full thoughts on it, which I will post a review for as well, and let you know if it is comparable to Practical Magic and if it does have those witchy elements to it. This author had also written the spellbook for The Lost and Found and The Accident Season, which were two very popular books on Booktube for quite some time, so I can't wait to read her third book. If it is her third book, I'm not exactly sure, but her third most recently published work. The next I have here, The 10,000 Doors of January, which I have been dying to get to since I got my hands on it, and I actually read the first chapter because I just needed to see what it was about. But this book is about January, and she works for a man who owns a mansion, and she lives there, and he kind of has adopted her in a way because her father is not around, and she finds this secret book that smells of other worlds and other places, and she jumps from doorway to doorway. So it's kind of like a time travel book, entering a different universe type book. So I'm looking forward to it. I have heard that it's similar to the Wayward Children series in that there's doorways that open to other worlds that she crosses over to, but from what I understand, it might be the book that she discovers that opens other doors for her. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm very much looking forward to getting to the bottom of this story and reading it for myself and letting you guys all know my full thoughts. This book is released September 10th, 2019, so if this does sound like something that you would enjoy, please pre-order it, because pre-ordering is a great way to support your favorite authors. And this is a first-time author as well. Their name is Alex E. Haro. I have here, it's a reread for me, and that is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I am so excited to be reading this. I haven't really been reading a lot of great books recently, so I feel like rereading Harry Potter just always kind of brings me out of my slump. So I'm looking forward to rereading this and getting back into my favorite world ever, which is wizards and all the fun adventures that Harry and his friends go on. Lastly, I have here Do Mikey by Stephen King. This is our constantly reading book club book pick for July and August, so if you are interested in reading along, the link to the book club is down below. There will be folders where you can find spoiler sections and non-spoiler sections to discuss the book, but we will be reading this for July and August, and I am quite excited because this is the only summary Stephen King book there is, and it's about a man who is drawing pictures, and his pictures open up portals that allow ghosts in or something like that. I might not be telling you the exact details of it, but that's what I got from the synopsis. I've never read this book before, so I don't really know exactly what it's about, but I am so excited to finally read this. I've heard amazing things about this book. It is one of his most underrated books from what I understand, so I can't wait to get into it myself. And it's so funny because my boyfriend just went on a trip to Sarasota, Florida for work, and he went into one of his stores, and one of the guys that works there says, "Oh, Stephen King lives nearby," and I really didn't know that, and then when I picked this book, I found out that Stephen King had written this book in 1999. He had a near-death experience, and he wrote this book relating to that experience, and he bought that house in Sarasota around then to kind of heal and kind of just recover from what happened to him, and he wrote this book. So that's pretty interesting, and I looked up his house on Zillow. It's actually for sale, so if you guys want to Google it yourselves and see what his house looks like, it's pretty phenomenal. It's like a compound, it's huge, and it's right on the water. It's gorgeous. But it's just nice to know, to see where he wrote this book, which was pretty cool. in Florida, and this book is after Do Mikey in Florida. I will be vlogging my experience of reading this book as well from July and August to let you guys know my full thoughts on this book, and I will link it also into my Goodreads if you are from the Constantly Reading book club, so this way you guys can go back and forth and check up on my reading updates for that. So that's it for my July TBR, and I'm gonna run through a little bit of the reading rush, the challenges that Ariel and Raylene have picked, and then I'm going to tell you which books I'm going to be using to apply to those challenges. The reading rush is from July 22nd to July 29th, so you have a week to complete 7 challenges. That does not mean you have to read 7 books. You can double up on those books, and that's what I'm going to be doing because I can't read 7 books in a week. So, I'm lucky I have 7 books on my TBR that I might not finish in a month. The first challenge is read a book with purple on the cover. The second challenge is read a book in the same spot the entire time. The third challenge is read a book you meant to read last year. Number 4 is read an author's first book. Number 5 is read a book with a non-human main character. Number 6 is pick a book that has 5 or more words in the title. And number 7 is read and watch a book to movie adaptation. For the challenges, number 1, which is read a book with purple on the cover. Number 4, read an author's first book. And number 6, pick a book that has 5 or more words in the title. And I'm going with The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Haro. This is Alex's first book, so yeah, fits all those challenges. I'm really using these challenges to double up. I'm really using it. The next book that I'm picking is Chamber of Secrets, and that is going to be going for challenges number 2, read a book in the same spot the entire time, and number 7, read and watch a book to movie adaptation. And last, the final book that I'm picking, because I'm only picking 3 books for this readathon, that is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, and this is going to be going for challenges. Read a book that you meant to read last year, and also number 5, read a book with a non-human main character. There's non-humans all over this book, so I'm really excited to get into Lady Midnight because I did mean to read this last year when I picked up the paperback, and I didn't. So this is perfect. This is a great TBR for the reading rush, and I'm so excited for it. So that is it. That's all I have for you today. I'm going to leave all the information for the reading rush if you'd like to join along, if you haven't watched Ariel's video and Raylene's video introducing the readathon. I will leave it all linked down below if you'd like to join in, and definitely make sure you sign up on the website. This way you can create your own profile on there, and this way we could all read together through there. That is my July TBR, and if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more from me, just please like and subscribe down below, and I'll be talking to you guys soon.